Shalom, shalom. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Now, I'm pointing my scripture at Psalms 55, verse 21 for a reason here, because this scripture applies to a dream I had a couple days ago. And in this dream, I was at a public setting. It was at a school, it was a big school, really, well, quite a big school. It was actually a college. It was a big college, and there were crowds of people at this college, right? And I was at the school checking the campus out, and I ended up meeting this guy. Now, this guy was quite tall, and, a little darker than me when it comes to skin complexion. And he reminded me of a friend I I knew, but he definitely did look different. For he had silky hair too. However, me and this guy ended up talking, and during our conversation, he told me I was a Hebrew. And this shocked and excited me, and I ended up telling him that there is a great awakening going on, and that you are a Hebrew. You are a Hebrew according to your father's side. And he said that he was a Hebrew according to his father's side. So this really excited me, and this was really cool, For it says that there's a confusion of faces, Not every Hebrew will have woolly hair, you know what I mean? For instance, he had silky hair, but he was a Hebrew. I have woolly hair, and I'm a Hebrew. So while me and this guy were talking, it said that Baruch chapter 2, verse 30, that there was in the land of our captivity there was going to be a great awakening going on, and that we will wake up in the captivity of our land, according to Baruch chapter 2, verse 30. And I said, actually, after that, during that, there was also a part in my dream, and it was still daytime, by the way. There were still crowds of people, and we ended up talking to this blonde girl with the blonde hair and blue eyes. She was an Edomite girl. She was a really pretty girl. Long blonde hair, blue eyes. However, I had a weird vibe from her. A really weird vibe from her. Well, so far, I guess just a weird vibe. But something wasn't right. And the guy that I talked to who knew he was Hebrew too, ended up chatting her up and flirting with her, because hey, you know how Jake is. And she had a nice, pretty smile, really wide too. And me, the guy, ended up searching some of the school some more, and seeing some things at the school. It seemed like it was an open house or something, open house type event going on at the school. And shortly afterward, while we were going around the campus, we went back to the school. And the guy talked to her again, of course. And the guy also mentioned that he hadn't seen this girl at the school before. So he was basically saying while talking to her that he hadn't seen her at the school before, right? And at this point, it became night, and there were less people, but there were still it was like a dispersed crowd, but there was still less people. And after this point, I had this super weird, intense vibe after this or after then, I said to the guy to walk me towards the car, and he did. So he was walking me toward the car, because at this point, I had this really weird vibe from this girl. I just did not trust her, and I said to the guy, when I said to the guy to walk me to the car, and he did, while walking toward the car, the blonde girl from earlier was looking out the window. So this girl that we were talking to before is looking out the window, looking at us walk towards the car. And while we were walking toward the car and she was looking at us, her smile that was really wide, really pretty, ended up becoming very psychotic and very, very uh, terrible looking, and her wide was even super. Her smile was super wide, and she looked psychotic. And her it was like a psychotic smile she had, and her eyes became bigger, and her smile ended up. Her eyes became bigger, like you know when the eye like when a person opens up their eyes like wide open, and her smile became even wider, and then she ended up pressing her face against the window, looking at us walk with that same psychotic smile. At this point, me and the guy seen her doing this, looking at us, and at this point we were shook. So me and the guy rushed to the car, and I told him to get in and to call the cops. Now, the interpretation of this dream I had is that there is a big awakening going on. You know, a lot of our people are waking up, alright? And the girl that was there, the white girl, was an Edomite. Now the interpretation I got from this dream was that she was playing nice and ended up revealing her true colors. So as Esau always likes to play, talk with smooth words in his mouth, even though war is in his heart. According to, as you can see, Psalms 55 verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Right, so that girl, that Edomite, represented Esau, where they'll reveal their true colors, where they'll reveal, you know, just they'll reveal their true colors, but however, their true colors is hiding right inside them while they paint it with a fake smile, with smooth words, and it showed that, and on top of that, it showed when she was when the Edomite girl was pressing her face against the window. It also came to me that the scripture that came to me, uh, in the word of the Lord, was where it said that Esau has a perpetual hatred against Jacob. You know? So that's all I've come to say about the dream, My people, we are the true Hebrew Israelites. The fake Jews in Israel are not the real Hebrews. They are the Amalekites, and they're fake Jews, and they hid our identity, took it away from us. Now, we are, according to Baruch chapter 2, verse 30, we are waking up in the land of our captivity. Alright, Shalom.